Have you ever wondered what it would be like to travel through the wilds, tame the wild beasts and hunt the most dangerous prey? Well, you don't need to wonder anymore, cause I know someone who did all this and more. Let me tell you the story of the legendary hunter and co-founder of the Horde. Let me tell you the story of Rexxar. I bet you heard that name before, whether in some epic story or in your worst Hearthstone nightmares. But before Rexxar was famous, or infamous in some circles, he was just an ordinary orc, living his life on the planet of Draenor. Or was he? Actually, no, he wasn't that ordinary. Hell, he wasn't even an orc for that matter. Well, let me tell you a story about that one-of-a-kind man. I mean orc. No, not an orc. It's a little complicated. It all started in the jungles of Gorgrond, where a clan called Mok Natal had its home. It was quite an unusual clan. Those people were half orcs and half ogres, which is quite unusual on its own, and on top of that, they were pacifists. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but there must have been a third party involved. How else would you explain the genome of peace in DNA of Mok Natal? Rexxar was always a skilled hunter. He had a great mastery over wild beasts. And what was interesting, the beasts seemed to like him, to trust him. Rexxar respected the beasts and trusted them too. That allowed him to befriend them, one in particular, a gigantic black wolf named Harata. Bond between those two was really strong, and the wolf did not leave Rexxar's side for a moment. Rexxar's clan lived good life. They weren't liked by orcs or ogres, but neither were they bothered by either. They lived a peaceful life, farming, raising young happy pacifists, and hunting. But those good times would soon come to an end. Once rich forests seemed to be abandoned by animals. The soil that used to feed the clan was dry, and plants did not want to grow. Tough times were coming upon Mok Natal. Rexxar, in spite of his father's protests, decided to abandon the peaceful ways of his ancestors and join the Horde. Maybe those new allies would help them survive those trying times. But he did not know Gul'dan or his plans, and all he got for his loyalty was a one-way ticket to fight the war against the humans on Azeroth. He still hoped that after the war, his clan would become a part of the Horde. Besides, he swore his loyalty, and he might be a half-orc, but his honor wasn't to be doubted. And so he fought fiercely, a huge warrior, bigger even than the biggest of orcs, and an enormous black wolf ripped their way through the human soldiers, side by side. Rexxar and Haratha fought in both First and the Second War. They were good and loyal soldiers of the Horde, but they still remained outsiders. Orcs still considered Rexxar as someone worth less than them, not pure. Rexxar did not care about it. He knew his worth. But then came the day that this racism costed him dearly. A warlock was injured in the battle and decided that a half-orc would make a perfect sacrifice for the fell magic that would heal him. Warlock casted a spell that would drain life from surprised Rexxar. In the last second, Haratha jumped in front of Rexxar and took the bullet meant for him. The wolf dropped dead on the ground. Rexxar's eyes filled with tears, maybe for the first time since he can remember. Fueled with rage, he leapt towards the warlock, and with one terrible blow of his axe, he severed his filthy head from the body. That day, he buried his allegiance to the Horde, together with Haratha. From now on, the wild beasts would be the only one Rexxar would ever trust. He did not need the Horde to survive in the wild lands of Azeroth, nor did he want to have anything to do with those savages that cared only for blood, both on the battlefield and in the community. At the beginning of his journey, it was tough. Any member of the Alliance would kill him on sight, if they would manage, of course. That's why he chose to stay off the roads and travel through the wilds. But it wasn't easy either. Forests and mountains, animals and plants, all of it was strange to him. After all, he was an alien on this planet. But above all, he was an excellent hunter and beastmaster. And to be fair, after years of fighting humans, he was hungry for a challenge. During his travels, he tamed and befriended a bear, a boar and a chimera. Moreover, under his caring eye, the beasts befriended each other. If you think that's impressive, know that he also helped to build the Orgrimmar, led the diplomatic mission to prevent the war between Horde and humans, became the chieftain of the Stonemaul, a clan of ogres, killed a skeleton king, fought demons, even found his way to Outlands, and in the final battle, as the champion of the Horde, he led the army that defeated Admiral Proudmoore. And guess what he did after all that? That's right, he went back to live in the forest with his besties, the beasts. That was his true home, and even though he finally met people worth calling friends, the wilds called him, and he couldn't resist the urge to be completely free once again. After all, he was a hunter. And there you go. If you ever wanted to become a hunter, now you know who to look up to. And if you want, I can tell you more stories about Rexxar, because boy, did he do a lot of epic stuff. When it comes to gameplay, Hunter is very fun, as he combines fast playstyle of melee classes with the advantage of range that usually is the domain of casters. Plus, marksmanship is doing some crazy damage right now and will do very well in Shadowlands. At least I hope so. All that sounds nice, but I didn't even tell you the best thing about hunters yet. You get to run around with not one, but 2 dragons as your pets in Shadowlands. Well, there you go. A little story that hopefully shed a little light on the mysterious Rexxar and the hunter class. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe to show me some love, baby. See you next week, or sometime in the future, because I have a full-time job right now, so might be tough.